Bottom line to that template is attack first, keep attacking until it's finished. Okay? So, it doesn't matter what you use to do that. As long as you've got the attitude and the ability to hit hard, and you do it before he does it, you should win. The attitude that you want to have is, you'll do whatever it takes to go home. So, that attitude is not easily cultivated. Do you understand what I mean when I say to you, emotional state? Do you know what an emotional state is? Yeah. Basically what it is, it's your current mood and the body language or physiology that accompanies that mood. So if you see somebody, we all know somebody is very negative. Whenever you see them and you say, hey, how you doing? They go, oh, terrible. Do you know this kind of person? After a little while, you kind of avoid this person. You see him and you hide. The reason is because it's contagious. It brings you down. Yeah. And when you look at somebody like this who's very negative about everything, if you look at their physiology, the way they hold their body, it's always very down. They live their life below eye line. So they look at their feet, make small movements, and everything about their physiology says negative. Conversely to that, if you look at somebody who is more in love with life, more animated, more constructive, more positive. And you've got to hand it to the Americans. They are very much more this way than the Europeans. If you say to an English guy, how you going? They go, not too bad. You say to an American, I'm doing fine, how you doing? There's fucking a lot we can take from that. Everybody is very constructive and positive and uplifting, on the whole, generally. And if you look at the body language that accompanies that kind of attitude, it's much more living above eye line, much more erect spine, much more buoyant, much more happy and animated, right? So what they say is, put your body language where you want your mind or mental state to be. So if you are continuously depressed and you went to see, say, a cognitive therapist or an NLP practitioner, first thing they would change in you is how you sit. So if you are agitated, upset or frustrated, try this experiment. This comes from Paul McKenna. Heard of Paul McKenna? Paul McKenna is like a kind of magician, but a hypnotist and this kind of thing. But he says, next time you feel really pissed off or upset, stand really tall, throw your head back, and put a stupid fucking smile. You are changing your physiology. In that exact moment when you change your physiology, it's pretty much impossible to feel pissed off. So you can put your physiology where you want your mind to be. So let's now translate that idea to the context of dealing with a street assault, dealing with violence. What would be the most constructive emotional state that we could be in before the fight, during the fight, and after the fight? Well, if you're in an emotional state before the fight, that is very fearful, and your body language accompanies that emotional state, do you think that's going to be productive? Fuck no, you are going to get your ass handed to you on a plate. Conversely to that, if you were to manifest an emotional state of calm, confident, aware, alert, and prepared, that would be much more useful, no? So pre-fight, that's really where you want to be. Inside of the fight, I mean the exact second that physical dynamic explodes, when the fight is moving and dynamic. In that moment, you need to access the antisocial side of your personality. You need to access what we call your Gemini twin, the Gemini principle, the darker you. I'm a Gemini by star sign, and I'm certainly a Gemini by personality. I want the ability to access antisocial, explosive aggression that I am in complete control of, so I can deal with the problem. If you look at what that looks like on a CCTV video, it looks fucking frighteningly aggressive. It looks explosive and violent. Understand that violence is ugly. So if you look at two street criminals robbing an old man, they beat the shit out of him and they put him on the floor and they kick him and they stamp on him, and you saw that on video. As a normal human being, you would go, oh, that's repugnant, that's horrible, that makes me feel bad. And that says you're a normal human being. If you look at that with a smile, then you're a fucking sociopath. But if you look at that and it's repugnant, then you are a normal person. But if you look at a video of somebody like me, who's on his way home, who gets attacked by 2 street thugs, well, I guarantee you there'd be a different result. What you would see is 2 people getting the fucking shit kicked out of them. It would look ballistically violent, and when they are on the floor, I would kick their fucking heads like a Coke can. And when you look at this on CCTV as a normal person, you would go, oh, that's ugly, that's horrible, that's violent. And it is, because violence is ugly and it's antisocial. The only difference is motive. So the 2 street criminals attack the old man in the street simply because they can. Or they forgot their medication. Or they've had a bad day. Or they need to rob this guy for their next fix. Or simply they're doing it for kicks. So no good reason are they employing violence. That, to me, is bad. If you see me employ violence, I guarantee you it's because I couldn't escape. Because if I could have run, I would have. If I could have talked it down, I would have. If I could have just given you my money and you let me go, I would have. Well, I might. But if I have to fight, it's because you made me a cornered animal. And I had no choice. So I had to fight because I must get home. Do you understand? So my self-belief system, if you like, or my power base that allows me to deal with violence is layered. The first layer is self-importance. I'm too important to lose. And I don't mean self-importance because I'm a hot shit. I'm just the same as you and you are the same as me. And we are all individual and important. I mean, I am too important to lose because there's too many people in my life that need me. And I need them. I need my children. I need my grandchildren. I need my wife. I need my friends. I love my life. I am not ready to go yet. Do you understand? So, therefore, I am too important to lose. I must win. I must prevail. So if I'm ever faced with a situation that is life-threatening, I guarantee you, in my head, I am a bigger predator than you. I will be the one going home. The next layer of my belief system is confidence. I've been doing this shit for 40 years, most days of my life. How can you not get good? I have had a lot of experience for real violence in my life. Less than some, a lot more than others, but certainly enough to know I will stand. So confidence that I can do it. The other layer is indignation. If you threaten to take me away from those I love, and those I love away from me, instead of feeling fearful, the thought of that makes me angry. It sparks indignation. Do you understand this word? Yeah. The simplest way for me to tell you how to cultivate mindset. People come up to me all the time. So just in Thailand last week, a guy come up to me at the end and says, I have a really lovely girlfriend. She's so soft, she's so gentle, she's so kind. I can make her do the physical, but I can't make her get the mindset. And I say the same thing. I want you to take this idea away. Not now, but away. Do it in your own quiet time. And I want you to contemplate loss. I want you to think about loss. So look at your life and ask yourself those questions that I started with. What do I want to live for? I want to live for my children, for my grandchildren, for my wife, for my friends, for my life, for my family. I want to live for the things I love. It's what I want to live for. What would I be prepared to die for? Well, I would die to protect them. I would die to protect me. Would I die over a parking space? Would I die because somebody steps in front of me in a line? No. I will not engage in violence for trivial shit. No way. But if the threat threatens to take me from those I love, I will fight to the end. I will fight until there's nothing left to fight about. For those things I love, I would be willing to die, and I would be willing to kill. This is my values. my belief system. You have to understand why you do something. You have to have a compass. You have to have internal and external boundaries. My external boundaries are I don't want to break the law. I don't want to go to prison. My internal boundaries are I won't fight for ego. I won't fight over a place in line, but I will fight to protect those I love and me. So if somebody threatens you in the street, let's say you're in a subway, and they step out with a knife and they rob you, and you give them the money, but it's not enough, they want more. Well, now there's a good chance that you're going to end up in a struggle. And they could kill you now on purpose or accidentally. In such a situation, you could die. Do you agree?
Yes.
You have to ask yourself right now what you'd be prepared for, to live for, to die for, and what do you want to live for and everything else. But once you get those set of values, you need to think about it this way around. Contemplate loss. Two guys jump out on you in an alley, and it's an unfamiliar experience. The first thing that's going to hit your body is massive adrenaline, like you've never felt before. You will not be cognitive, and if you are not very careful, you will freeze. If you freeze, you will be attacked and you will not respond. The result of that attack could result in your demise. You could die. People die all the time from a street robbery, as one example. And the reason that you potentially died is because the first feeling that you felt was fear. You capitulated. You had that moment of realization that, shit, this is no longer training. There's a real chance that I could get hurt. And if you're not used to getting hurt, quite often that will make you mentally freeze, which means you will not be able to access your skill. You will not want to access your skill or do anything just in case you get hurt. So in our training, we get very familiar with getting hit. We get very familiar with adrenaline, aggression, fear. We replicate it in a scenario environment so much that it's just another day at the office. Do you understand? It's not exactly the same. You have the dojo training, then you have the street. And here you have a big reality gap. This doesn't meet this. The only way to close the gap is to replicate scenario simulation training, hard scenario simulation training, with violence, aggression, non-compliance, where there's a chance you could get hurt or knocked out. This will never be the same as real experience, but it's closer. So if you had a problem with dealing with adrenaline, and I said to you, no problem, next Saturday I'm working on this door, this nightclub, it's a real shithole. Come with me, I got your back, but I guarantee you, you'll get some sport. Do you understand get some sport?
Yeah. No.
Right? It means you will have the fight. It will happen.
Okay.
So you will get some real experience. If I said this to you, it would be morally incorrect. There'd probably be a legal issue. But fuck, it would help. Because there is no better experience for the event than the event. Hence the saying, 10 seconds on the street is worth 1 year in the dojo. If you cannot have such a live experience, then you must simulate. You must use aggressive roleplay and dialogue and everything else. If you are not familiar with aggression, then it's the first time somebody is aggressive with you, you capitulate. You'll freeze. So go back to the hypothetical scenario. You're going to get robbed at knife point in a subway. The guy's going to stab you unless you fight. You choose not to fight because your first emotional state is one of fear. You are so scared you freeze. Here's the result. You get stabbed, you're dead. Your life, as you know it, finished. All your hopes, dreams, everything you intended to do in life, gone. Everyone that loved you, loves you, pines for you, misses you, gone. You are gone from them. I want you to take time in your own time to contemplate loss. Think about being faced with a situation where you don't fight back because you're too scared and you die. First thing I want you to think about is the moment that the police officer goes to your front door, knocks on the door, opens the door and tells your wife or your husband, I'm very sorry to inform you, but your partner has been killed. He died in a da-da-da-da. I want you to imagine in your face your wife's response. In your head, visualize. What would her first expression be? What would your husband's first expression be? How would he hurt? How would he feel? How would he react? I want you to look at that in your head. And then I want you to imagine further your now wife or husband having to tell your children, Daddy's gone. How would they react? How would they cry? How would they hurt? How would they sob during their sleep at night? So what you're looking at now is loss. You've lost them, they've lost you, and you're looking at their pain. Then I want you to fast forward a few months. If you are the man, the husband, and you are old school like me, then you should be the hunter-gatherer. You are the breadwinner. You are the one that pays the rent and pays the mortgage. And now you're gone, your wife can't pay the rent. So they lose the house. It's been repossessed. They have to move to a small place in a shitty neighborhood. They have to leave school, go to a new school. This upheaval and change will hurt them. Then I want you to forward again 1 year. Now your children are starting to smile and play again because they're resilient. They're children, they think about you and they cry about daddy, but they smile again. 18 months later, your wife has finally swallowed her pride and moved on. She's met somebody else now. She lies down at night next to somebody else. Think about that in your head. Right? When you start to think about these kind of things, you are contemplating loss. Your initial emotional response as you visualize these things will evoke, first of all, emotion. You'll feel sad. But very quickly, the emotion will turn to indignation. You'll start to feel angry. And then I want you to throw the picture back to the fucking little miscreant in the alleyway with the knife. So all of this loss is because of this motherfucker. All of this loss is because when he attacked you, you froze because you were scared. How do you feel now thinking about this event? You'd be, oh, I feel fucking angry. Well, what if he was in front of you now? I'd kill that motherfucker. Do you understand? Now you've thought about loss, you have a different emotional response, one of indignation. So now instead of, oh no, please don't hurt me, it's come on. Do you see the difference? Which one is more useful for dealing with that problem? The second one. But hindsight, after the event, is fucking useless. I don't know what hindsight even means. It's a useless word. In hindsight, I should have done this. It's too fucking late. So don't think about it in hindsight. Think about it now. Visualize in your head loss and how that would make you feel. And what that will give you is the understanding that no matter what, there is nothing more important than those you love and those that love you. There is nothing more important than that. That is the essence of life, what you live for. So that is above all, above everything. That I would be willing to kill for. That I would be willing to die for. Because that is all I want to live for. So now, with that preconditioned fury in my head, any situation that I find myself in that even remotely replicates that loss, I will instantaneously access that mental state. One of indignation. One that does not say, please don't hurt me. One that says, step to this fucking scratch if you want to die. Because you ain't taking me alive. Do you understand? So my power base for controlling adrenal stress is first, self-importance. I'm too important to lose. Too many people need me and I need them. I must prevail. The second is indignation. If you threaten that, I'll fucking eat you alive. The third is confidence. I've been training like a motherfucker all my life, you know? If anybody is fucking prepared to deal with violence, it's me. And people like you that train, you know? So if you train for this shit, then you need to have the correct emotional software to back up the physical hardware. Does that make sense? If you think of loss in this way and you cultivate that attitude that you will do whatever it takes to win, whatever it takes to prevail. Think about the saying. You hear many self-defense instructors say things like, you've got to do whatever it takes to survive. So survive is the ultimate objective. Well, if survive is the ultimate objective and you don't survive, you're dead. It's finished. There's nowhere to go. So I go beyond survival. My ultimate objective is to win, is to prevail. Nobody ever truly wins. There's always a comeback, there's always consequences. But what I mean by prevail is, I mean you are a shit smear on the pavement and I'm the one that goes home. That to me is prevailing or winning. Do you understand? And I will do whatever it takes to make that happen. Now, if I don't win, I should survive. There's somewhere to go with it. So if you still beat me, I should still survive. And I'll be the best, second best you've ever fucking seen. And to be honest, if it's my time, it's my time. But you have to have this mental component in place. No amount of physical is any good to you. No weapon, no high caliber gun, no shiny tactical fucking whatever is any use to you unless you have this mentality. You need the emotional software as well as the physical hardware. You need to fuse the two together. Do you understand? So think about violence as a very big, ugly fire. If you want to put that fire out, you need a big, fuck off, ugly hose. Do you understand? So that's what you've got to cultivate. So like I said, in your own time, take some time to sit, contemplate, visualize. Work out what's important to you. What would you be prepared to live for, to die for, to kill for, if at all? Where is your line? Define it. And when you find it, think about losing it. Think about losing everything. Because everything could be lost over something fucking trivial. Don't fight over trivial. Don't fight over a parking space. Don't fight over a place in line. If it's something petty and stupid, give it up. But if you are a cornered animal and all you can do is fight, fight until there's nothing left to fight about. You must be the Antichrist. Do you understand? Yes. I'm talking rage with reason, not red mist. Controlled, explosive aggression. Everything physical, emotional, and spiritual into a spear put through the enemy. And when you have this kind of attitude and persona, it's a lot easier than you think. Many times, this is what I mean when I say approach every problem with 10 in your head. This is 10.